Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about The Wild Robot. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. So, this is from DreamWorks. DreamWorks Animation. They've been around for a very long time. I'm not going to go over all their movies in detail because that would take way too long. So I'm just gonna cherry pick their success stories. So you have Ants, Prince of Egypt, The Chicken Run, all doing like really, good, really solid, but nothing spectacular. That would change with Shrek in 2001. Now this changed everything because Shrek ended up becoming like DreamWorks' cash cow, the main face of DreamWorks, the main face of like animation for a good minute. And the success of Shrek led to the monster success of Shrek 2, which is still DreamWorks' biggest movie ever, domestically and worldwide. Like, this was their peak right here. But then after that, while they never reached that peak again, um, well, for now, we have Shrek 5 in 2 years. That might do it. But yeah, they had like a solid stream of like hits. Let's see, Shark Tale, Madagascar, Over the Hedge, Shrek the Third, a movie that we don't talk about ever. um, Kung Fu Panda, Madagascar 2, Monsters vs. Aliens did fine. Didn't do that well, but it wasn't like a bomb or anything. Uh, How to Train Your Dragon, Shrek Forever After, Megamind, that just did fine enough. Kung Fu Panda 2, Puss in Boots, Madagascar 3, The Croods, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Home, Kung Fu Panda 3, Trolls, Boss Baby, to a lesser extent, Captain Underpants, How to Train Your Dragon 3, um, Bad Guys, Puss in Boots The Last Wish, and then Kung Fu Panda 4. All doing well, all making some money, some more than others. But yeah, DreamWorks is well known. A lot of these movies have become like big multimedia franchises. A lot of these movies have been memed on quite a bit, become like famous online, like Shrek, Madagascar, the B movie. So yeah, So DreamWorks as a brand, I'm gonna label them as a pro, although they've made a lot of flops, which I will cover later. But yeah, DreamWorks, I'm gonna label them as a pro. Another pro is that word of mouth for this movie is spectacular. Its critics score is a 98%, audience score 97%, cinema score A. You can't get much better than that. You really can't. So yeah, spectacular scores across the board. That's obviously a pro. Another pro is that direct competition isn't super. It's not really there. I mean, I know there's Transformers One, which came out last weekend, but that movie stumbled real hard opening weekend, and I feel like Wild Robot's gonna take advantage of that. And I find it real funny that September we have two animated robot movies going at it. I find that funny. But yeah, besides Transformers 1, Wild Robot has no serious direct competition until like November. And at that point, it's like late November. So this movie has plenty of time to play out, especially throughout the month of October, which is going to be dominated by like adult centric movies. So yeah, just lack of serious direct competition for like a long time. That's obviously going to help this movie out. It's going to help its legs. So yeah, that's a pro. Another pro is that it's Thursday previews, almost 2 million. I say are pretty good considering the fact that this is in September, and in September kids are in school. You gotta deal with school nights. You can't be going out late. To watch a movie because you have like homework and you have school the next day, waking up early and all that. So yeah, So for a family movie to open with previews like this high, I say is a really good sign. Especially considering, I mean, I know this is based off a book series that's apparently like really popular, but it's not like based off like a well-established like movie series, right? It's not like say like a Kung Fu Panda 4 or How to Train Your Dragon 3 or like anything like that that's well established. So for that, I'd say like these numbers are pretty good. So Thursday previews, I'm gonna label those as a pro. And is that it with pros? I think so. Well, I guess I can mention that this movie was made by we gotta find the dude, Chris Sanders, man who is responsible for Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon. So of course this movie was gonna be good. I mean, come on. I mean, Lilo and Stitch, that's a classic for me and a lot of people. And How to Train Your Dragon, same thing. So this dude knows quality. We'll call the wild that no one cared about that. The Croods did like was just fine. But Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon, bangers. And this is just happens to be another one. So yeah, the fact that you have the director of Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon working on this, yeah, that's obviously a good thing. So I'm gonna label it as a pro too. Why not? um, okay, cons. Well, these cons aren't really like super important right now, considering how this movie's been doing according to early numbers. But one of the things is that DreamWorks Animation, like their track record is so damn spotty. Like it's real hot and cold. It's real up and down, to say the least. I mean, going back to their beginning, like Ants, Prince of Egypt, successes. Road to El Dorado, flop. I know it's loved now, but back then it was a flop, absolute bust. Spirit didn't do all that well. Sinbad was a bust. Wallace and Gromit did solid, but Flushed Away was a disaster. That pretty much killed DreamWorks' partnership with Aardman. B movie didn't do that well financially, although it became a big meme movie like a decade later, and now people wonder like how B movie that movie even exists with how insane the plot is and everything. Rise of the Guardians was a big flop, despite being well liked and getting like a big cult following like later on. Turbo, flop. Mr. Peabody and Sherman, flop. Penguins in Madagascar, flop. And that one was really serious because that's a part of a well-established series like Madagascar. So the fact that that flopped was real bad. And I think around this point, DreamWorks almost shuttered. Like they almost went under, but they managed to get their act together and survive. Abominable didn't really do much of anything. Trolls World Tour, I can't really talk about because COVID prevented that from having a proper release really at all. So, and it was infamously, you know, released on PVOD, and AMC theaters were really pissed off about that. And for a while, they banned all Universal movies, but eventually, Universal and AMC like broke bread and forgave, and they the good old forgive and forget. So that was a weird point in time. Crude's a new age. I'm not going to be too harsh towards that because it's dealing with COVID directly. So I'll give that a pass. Spirit Untamed, that was a flop. No doubt about that. And Boss Baby 2, that had to deal with Peacock, so I'll give that a pass. Bad Guys, that was a hit. Ruby Gillman was a flop and a half. That's DreamWorks' worst performing movie ever in the States. So, ugh. And then Trolls Band Together didn't do all that great, but I imagine merchandising saved that movie at the end of the day. So, yeah, as I said, DreamWorks' track record, spotty. So, a track record like that, I was kind of worried about this movie's chances. So, yeah, I would label that as a con. But besides that, there's no other cons really. Yeah, there's none. So opening weekend, a lot of people projected this would hit like in the 20s, just like what happened with Transformers 1, but this movie seems to be overperforming because the numbers I've seen, this is projected to hit like 35 mil, which is really good for September standards. So, yeah, so I guess I'm gonna go with 35 mil. It could do better than that, who knows? But yeah, 35 million opening weekend. It's total, it should realistically have long legs. I refuse to believe this movie's gonna be front loaded. So it should have a long life. It should definitely go past 100 mil, maybe 150 mil, maybe I'm not gonna say 200 mil. That's a little too optimistic, but at least I don't know, 120 to 150. Let's go with that. And yeah, that's it. That's it for the weekend. Thank Christ, it's over. That was awful. I'm despising these 6 movie weekends. They are killing me. And you know what's real bad? I gotta do this shit again 2 weeks from now with October 11th. Look at this. Look at that. Just fuck. At least this next weekend won't be so bad. It's only 3 movies. Only one I really want to talk about. That obviously being Joker 2. But yeah, that's next week. So stay tuned for that. And that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Um, if you want to watch any of the past prediction videos I made on the channel this year and the past few years, want to watch any of them, go right ahead. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. September, my summer 2024 recap, both parts are up right now. September recap will come out about 2-ish weeks from now, between the 4th and the 11th. And September as a whole was good only because of Beetlejuice. If you subtract that, it was rough. So, yeah. But I'll talk about September more in the recap video. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past prediction videos, the recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. There's also box off, the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. Wild Robot, I believe I covered more than once. I will check to make sure. Let me see. Wild Robot. Let me see. That's not it. Okay. First time was episode 224. I talked about that alongside Red 1, Strangers Chapter 1, and Dogman, not related to the Dogman movie coming out next year, also from DreamWorks, not related to that, okay? So yeah, that was episode 224. And then the second time I talked about it was episode 243. I talked about it alongside Transformers 1. How fitting. The Avatar Aang movie. It ends with us. And then I also mentioned, Project Hail Mary and Untitled Comedy from Trey Parker and Matt Stone. So, yeah, those are the 2 videos I talked about Wild Robot. So if you want to watch those videos or any other Cancel episodes I've made, you want to binge all the episodes of Canceled I've done, go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.